Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Terry Thomas.
Present.
Gary Underwood.
Here.
Greg Camp.
Here.
Jim Caston.
Here.
Mark Johnson.
Here. Okay, we have the minutes of the July 16th, 2020 meeting. There are no corrections or questions. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion made. Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, then we have we have the bills and a couple of addendums added to that. So if you guys take a second to look over those, if you have no questions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills. So moved. Second. Do we roll call that?
Terry Thomas.
Yes.
Gary Underwood.
Yes.
Greg Camp.
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Johnson.
Yes. Oh, you include Josh.
Josh Whaley.
Yes.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Ask man was looking at me there, so I know. Okay, new business. Mr. Becker. We have a list of the failed equipment, and I guess you're gonna tell us all we need to know about our insurance coverage and how that's gonna work for us.
I'll tell you what I know, and then I'll try to answer any questions you have as best I can. How's that?
Sure, yes, sir.
Michelle, you already have a PDF copy of this, but that's a printed copy of your
okay.
policy.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys discussed the renewal at your last meeting or not, but we had started the process of getting quotes from other companies before this claim took place. And with a claim of that size pending, it really wasn't a good idea to go out. We wouldn't have gotten favorable pricing from any other companies. So when I saw that we got a renewal offer from the current carrier that was just under a 2% increase, that's what we recommended.
We're having the meeting.
I do have a statement of values that we can go over. It's automatically been increased just by a small percentage from last year. So unless and until you guys make all of the improvements that I know that you have planned, I think these values are probably, we looked at them last year, so they should be good. Now on the claim, I sent in a request for kind of a status report on that yesterday. There's two components to the claim. First is the physical damage from the lightning itself, which has mostly been repaired at this point, right?
Yes, for the most part.
And you're hanging on to those parts?
Yep.
Because we're not sure yet if the adjuster still needs to look at them.
Right.
I did not get an answer on that yesterday, so I'll stay on them and try to get that today so you don't have all that junk laying around.
Awesome.
What a feedback.
And then the other component, the physical damage from the lightning should be paid with no question. And they've already reserved for that basically as soon as you turn it in.
So now, when do you think we'll get payment on that?
Well, I don't have a solid answer on that, but let me, the business income claim is what's going to gum up the works a little bit.
Okay.
As some of you probably remember, we changed, I forget exactly what the trigger point was for that, but a couple of years ago, we requested that the bond covenant be modified, or the agreement between the cities and the water authority be modified such that if the cities are not getting the water due to a claim that's covered by the insurance policy, then the cities are not obligated to pay. Therefore, it should trigger the business income provision of the insurance policy, and the water authority gets paid from insurance as opposed to by the cities. I asked if they needed any additional information or if they had made any decision on that, and they did not get me an answer on that question. She said that and if they need any additional accounting information, it will be requested by the adjuster. So that woman that we emailed a bunch of stuff to, I would suggest following up with her directly. Just see if, ask her if she needs anything else,
Okay.
and if not, when she expects to have an answer by. I'm sorry, but since we have to go through kind of a third party to get to this company, like the person I asked the answer to doesn't necessarily get me a straight
Right,
answer.
okay.
I can tell you that they initially reserved the claim for $60,000 based on the physical damage, and the loss reserve for the loss was increased to $160,000. So based on that, I'm assuming that they are planning to pay out about $100,000 on the business income.
For lost water?
Yeah,
Oh, on the income?
that's what
Okay.
that would be my assumption.
Okay.
That we don't have.
Will that be enough to cover it, Michelle? Have you even tried to put a pencil to the numbers
Well,
yet?
the equipment listing's probably close to, you said about 100,000.
We're already at, the current invoices we're already at about $93,000 worth of damage.
Do we have any idea how much water loss, well, yeah, water loss, or how, I don't know how you want to term it.
About 50.
Something like that, yeah.
50,000 for the equipment?
No,
No, no, no.
the amount of water that the cities would have paid for had
Oh, I
they.
thought it was a lot higher than
No,
that. It was like 144,000
yeah, 'cause we were
or
down-
something.
17 days, and we calculated at as far as what their contraction was.
And I thought there was a couple days
There
that
it
of
is.
grace there where
It's like
you guys don't have to pay.
Right.
42 or 40
But I was thinking it was 48 hours, but I could be wrong.
So once we get the insurance money from the claim, then I will give a credit the next time on you guys' utility bill.
You would do what,
Give
Michelle?
you a credit on your next utility bill.
Yeah, but I think the question is, are they gonna cover the whole amount?
Oh, they're not gonna cover the whole amount.
Why not? I thought that's the policy we
Well,
had.
there's a deductible,
Right,
basically.
there's
There's a gallonage deductible.
48 hours that they don't cover.
Well, I knew that part, but then from that point on, when there, how many days was it?
Grand total at 17.
17, so 15 days is, are we,
Yeah, they're
are we
gonna
saying
cover
they're gonna
15.
pay for 15 days?
Right, they should.
Okay, well, that's-
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I got aldermen that are questioning and knows about it, and they're wanting me to figure it up and give it back to the customer. I don't know.
So according to my understanding of the policy provisions, the physical damage will be, the deductible will be applied to that. The business income is all part of the same loss, so there shouldn't be any additional deductible except for the time period.
Cool.
So whatever the annual amount you guys are obligated to pay to the water authority from each city, divided by 365 times 15 should be the amount that the insurance company pays.
Awesome. Great, thank you.
But on the equipment, did you say 60,000 is what they're estimating for?
That was the initial estimate. I
Okay.
don't know if there was some additional stuff that was turned in afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
And I also asked about you want to talk about that audit now, or when you bring
It's up to
it
you.
up? Okay. So we had asked the insurance company to see if they had any loss control advice that they could provide on how to prevent further lightning damage in the future. I know there's surge protection on some of that equipment, but clearly it's not sufficient because it doesn't seem to be doing the job. I don't know if there needs to be additional lightning rods or something like that. It's kind of beyond my expertise. So we asked the insurance company, and they recommended that we contact Flynn Drilling. Jamie and I looked at each other on the phone and kind of popped our heads sideways and were like, why would we call them? They're a drilling company. They probably don't know that much about this. Jamie had identified another company that would come in and do an electrical audit for a cost of around $13,000 that would completely check everything and find out where there needed to be additional protections. So far, the answer I'm getting from the insurance company is they would decline to participate in the cost of that audit.
And that's actually on our fourth thing down here on new business. But if you look, you've got on page 27, a list of what the audit, what it is I contacted Transector, which we have a few little surge protection devices from Transector already within our facility at our meter vaults. So I did contact them direct. And because of COVID, they don't so much go out as far as their restrictions, so they do have a sub-company that they put me in contact with. But this is just for information only to see how you would like to do this or move forward, or other companies you want me to contact, or if we need to go out for RFP, RFQ for these things.
So this 13,400 is
It's their cost.
preliminary cost to hire them.
It's, well,
Well, yeah,
it's
we
executive
we gotta do a bid process, right?
Anything over 10,000. Anything over 10,000.
So, okay, when we get down to that, then we'll just we'll have a vote and authorize going out for bid. You and Michelle can work on that.
So I was a little disappointed that the insurance company did not want to participate in helping out with that cost, but if they're going to pay the entire rest of the loss, that's pretty good.
It's called preventative to help maybe
Well-
not pay out the next time.
And it's the kind of thing where if they knew you were going to stay with them for another 5 years, they would probably
Yeah,
pay for it.
right.
But if they don't, and you guys
That
can't
makes
commit
sense.
to that, really, because if the pricing changes, then I would recommend that you move. You would probably decide to move. It's something that I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think about it that way.
Can I answer any other questions?
Josh, say something or what?
Josh, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, Tony, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Appreciate all your service and time you give us, so thank
I
you.
appreciate the business, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity to give you some return on your insurance investment.
Yes.
Can I leave this with you? This does need to be signed and sent back to you.
Oh, okay, absolutely. Okay.
Thanks. I'm happy to stick around. if you guys-
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you wanna go ahead? We'll have Jim sign it and then.
No, I just mean as somebody who also sits on the other side of the dais from time to time, it's kind of annoying when people get up and leave after their part. I'm happy to stick around if you guys want to.
I think we'd be comfortable if you decided to stay or leave.
I think I'm gonna go get back to work.
Sounds good. Today, 20th?
Yep.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on.
Thanks, everybody.
You'll sign it or you'll send it.
RFP for Claricone rehabilitation. That's our staff report on 20 and 20 through 26. So is it, Jamie, you gonna speak to this?
As far as that, we did have two bids in regards to this, as far as our Claricone rehabilitation. Suez came in at a cost of $220,000, and Genesis came in at a cost of $201,500, which is a considerable difference. But there are a few different things as far as their coatings. There is a difference, and also how the RFP was stated. Yes, Genesis came in lower, but the plural component that they are proposing is a Tanemic type. It's a FC22 versus Suez's Warren's coat.
So in layman's term, what'd you just tell us?
I'll tell you what, Mr. Steckman, would you care to enlighten them about the plural component?
Yes, I would, and thank you very much. Number one, I want to thank you for allowing Suez to be on your webinar. I really appreciate it. Also, really appreciate the business relationship we have with Jefferson County Water, Herculaneum, and all the other cities. I really appreciate that. have online, I invited my boss, Nikki Grasma. She's got a wealth of information and experience in contracts, but these type of projects. As far as the two coatings, what we responded to the RFP, dotted every I, every T, and responded with the product that was solely specified for the interior wet. That's a Warren coating. We are, the other company is proposing a FC22. That's a Tnemec lining. They are two different animals. I would add that we are Tnemec's largest customer by far worldwide. So we use a lot of Tnemec paint. In a lot of the discussions with Jamie and leading up to the RFP, we talked about the Warren coatings, the features and benefits that would provide for your Claricone. And that's what we specified, and we feel that that's a great product, and that's very good about using that. If you all want to entertain not following your RFP, we would love the opportunity to resubmit to you using the FC22. But I also add that I spent almost a decade at Tnemec formulating high performance coatings for them and marketing. We're talking about, they're both epoxies, but they're two different animals. They have different features and benefits and attributes. In my professional opinion, Warren is the product you want for that very abrasive surface. It's going to give you long-term protection. You don't want to have to turn around and redo this thing prematurely. You want to get in there, get it done, and have it last a long time.
I guess the question is what is your gentleman's opinion on this situation?
Well, I mean, I'm a layman. I know nothing about what is good epoxy paint or not. I guess this is epoxy paint kind of thing.
It is.
I mean, I like the idea of doing it less often. And, you get what you pay for.
Yes.
So, I mean, if there was how quickly does this have to be done? Need to be done?
As far as us, it's one of those, if this was approved, either company is prepared to start this in December.
December? What if we did the bids and specify we want the Warren coat or whatever this is, the good stuff?
I mean, it was specified, and Suez did exactly that. The other
Genesis did not meet
and
specs.
Genesis did not meet spec.
Oh, so
They expect it to Tnemec.
Yeah,
so then let's just go with Suez.
That,
I mean,
they,
am I missing?
from the perspective of complying with the bid, Suez is the only compliant bid we received.
correct.
Am I missing something then?
I guess my only concern is, Tom, and just for our edification, how long from start to finish, or more importantly, I guess, how long does the plant have to be down to be able to do be able to do what you need to do on the interior, assuming the exterior stuff doesn't necessarily affect the operation of the plant?
Great question. Hard to give you an exact answer, but I'll use all my experience and give you from previous projects. Number one, our company has done numerous CBI Claricones, so it's not foreign to us. We do a lot. As you guys know, we maintain over 8,000 water tanks nationwide, so our crews are all familiar with the products. We have all the capabilities of applying the products. As far as timing, mobilization, getting in there, getting it done, like Jamie and I talked about this. I think Jamie said like 3 weeks. It really depends on, here's the greatest thing it depends on. When we get inside and start abrasive blasting the interior out, we don't know if that existing lining is going to be coming off in sheets, or you've got to get in there and just get on it. And there's a term called burning it off, which is not really burning, but you just abrasive blast, and it could take a long time. So we do a very conservative response to that. But 2 to 3 weeks would be my educated professional guess.
Now, you have the ability to mobilize some of the equipment and everything ahead of time before you actually have to take off the cone offline, correct?
Yes. What we're going to do to speed up your project, we do not want to be applying coatings on the exterior while the Claricone is in service because you can get sweating.
Correct.
And it may not show up in a year, but it might show up in any type of humidity or moisture below on that surface, on that substrate, can cause failures. So what we're going to do is double up. When the crew is on the inside painting, we're going to start painting on the outside at the same time.
Okay.
That speeds up your project.
Okay. Now, I know that any dehumidification or anything else is also included in this. Do you anticipate that you'll have to have any dehumidification in this process?
We're ready, willing, and able to do what it takes, Jamie. It's hard to tell.
I'm just curious.
I don't know what kind of weather conditions we'd have.
Okay.
I mean, I'm for going with Suez. Isn't that who we use for almost everything else anyway?
Yeah, they're the one who does the collectible, and as a matter of fact, they will be discussing that here in a little bit towards the end of the meeting as far as Suez is the ones who's going to help save us in our current debacle.
Yeah, and it is, I mean, but on the other side is $18,000 more, so, I mean, that's my opinion, but I'm
I mean,
one vote, so.
my opinion, we have a long working relationship with them. Yeah, it's more money, it's better coding, so it's one of those.
Now, Jamie, the coating that we spec,
Correct.
it's not like some proprietary thing that Suez is the only one that has, right? I mean, every company has the ability to get this.
Not every company has the ability to apply a warrants code. Not every company.
But I mean, it's not like a proprietary thing just through Suez, you know, we can't just bid something that
No.
only one company has access to.
No, other companies can do a
Okay.
warrants code.
All right, that's what I want to know, is just make sure that we spec
Right.
something that,
But warrants code is selected to certain companies, though. They're very specific on who they actually use or allow to apply their coding. But there are more than one.
okay, that's what I want to make sure that we had, you know.
Okay, go ahead, Gary.
We used them before.
Suez, I don't know who painted it the last time, but.
Yeah.
We haven't ever had them do coatings for us, but we use Suez for other
It's
stuff.
utility services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've done our
Yeah.
ice skating project, they do our collector well cleaning every year. So we already work with them with those two projects, so.
We found them pretty easy to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to use one of those two companies, so.
I make a motion we use Suez because they provided the only.
Well, we gotta do the resolution.
Well, no, because the resolution was
Oh.
if you
Okay.
accepted
My bad. I
Jamie's
just saw it.
recommendation. We can bring it back to.
We'll
the
bring it
board.
back to the next meeting. Does that bring a
Yeah,
resolution to the next
that-
meeting?
yes.
I mean, we have, if we're talking about doing the work in December,
Yeah.
anything, regardless of which company, so.
So we're gonna bring it back in September as
With the
Suez being the
resolution.
company, and everybody's okay with that we're using Suez, okay.
So Terry was making,
Motion to accept Suez as the company to go ahead because they were the only legitimate bid that we had.
And Gary seconded. Okay, you want to roll call this, since we are going against the higher, well, no, we're not doing anything, so just all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Tom?
Thank you all very much. Trust me, you're in good hands. We'll take great good care of you. You know that.
Oh, we know that.
I'll log off. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, RFQ for building and design collector well. Jamie, Greg, and Mark and I met and we did an RFQ policy, procedure. And this, I think, Michelle, or somebody sent those scores out.
Yeah.
And, Burns, we had two companies, Horner, Schifrin, Burns, and McDonald. And Burns and McDonald, had the higher score, I think it was 94 to 83, it was 11. And,
Yeah, that's correct.
And, so, yeah, do we have to do that by resolution, ladies?
I would bring it back to the board, I guess, next month to do a
Right, we'll
resolution.
have to negotiate terms with them.
Yeah,
So
that's right, because that's the process. If we
Correct.
can't negotiate a term, then we gotta
We
go
move
to
to
the
the
next
second.
guy. Okay.
So all we need to do here is accept
Accept the scoring.
the scoring
Scoring
and
matrix.
enter in negotiations with Burns and Mac.
Okay, is that your, is
I will
that your
make that
motion?
motion.
Second.
And Mark seconded it, and I'll let you catch up. Are you caught up?
Got it.
You are quick like a bunny. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, moving along. Surge protection for plant information only. We touched on that a little bit. You want to talk a little bit more about it, Jamie?
On our surge protectant, sorry. Anyway, I talked to this company that we just took a glance over on 2728. Like I said, they were kind of like a subcontractor with Transector. And as I said before, that we do have some of their surge suppression equipment, it's like our meter bolts and that, it's like our 24 volt protection. But this company here, for example, I told them, I said, oh, we're not gonna vote on anything, whatever else, and I said, what do you think we need to do? So we've talked on the phone a few times about this. I said, could you just give me a rundown of what this would run, what this approximate cost and that? And I said, we'll move forward from that. So as far as this, as far as the audits, sure, any company we use, they'll probably be considerable considering what they go through. Because they literally check everything from basically stem to stern. As far as all our grounding protection, if we would need lighting rods, if we would need further protection on our PLCs, if we would, so on and so forth. In other words, they do a complete rundown.
So can we use this for the specs for a bid and if we use this, should we have somebody that, do you have like an electrical engineer that looks at your stuff here for the
I think we
city?
could probably have someone,
To kind of just say, this is our bid specs, do you think we should add something or reword something? Do you have
Yeah.
somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. Let
why don't so I'll have this reviewed. If it needs to be added or subtracted from, and then I'll go ahead and put together an RFQ, or an RFP actually, and have it for your review next month, if that's okay with everybody?
Well,
Or do we just want to circulate it and?
I want to get this moving as quick as possible, if we can. I mean, that's just me. So I think we could vote to authorize
Once it's
a
prepared,
version of this to go out for bid, so that maybe we can even have a company to vote on by next hire next meeting.
and if we do like a.
Is that
20 days.
possible? What do you usually give, 2 weeks?
We can do like 20 days, we'll do like the MoDOT spec and do 20 days,
So if it went in the paper next week, we'd have plenty of time before our next meeting.
absolutely.
Does everybody want to do it that way?
Well, I certainly think the electrical storm made it
Evident.
very evident.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could do it tomorrow, but,
I'll make a motion that, that we place the RFP once it's prepared, out, advertise for bids, after, of course, everyone gets a chance to, after we get a chance to have these specs reviewed.
Right.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion is second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? We are rocking it. Okay. The blue folder, proposed budget. Michelle, you're gonna talk to us about that?
Yeah.
Is that the main reason we're graced with your presence today?
Yes, that's the reason
Very
why.
lucky.
So basically, Jamie has a list of capital requests here. So the main thing is one, salaries, as we all know. The CPI for December 2019 is 2.3%. Jamie's requesting a 3.3% salary increase. And then the only other thing is, in the past, we have given our 401K an extra boost the last 2 years because we had a couple people who had left and they weren't vested, so what we were able to give more to the current employees. So I'm asking to take that back down to 2,500. And basically, Jamie, if he wants to go through the capital outlay, now we have a resolution or an amendment for the current budget to actually remove the lateral clean for this next year and being bumped up to this fiscal year. So that $136,865 that's on my memo here, that will be removed from the budget for next year. And we're at, with everything that I have plugged in, I think we're at 1.7 on our debt service. And of course, it all depends on like the surge protector thing, going up for bid, what the cost of that's gonna cost. If we have to buy additional equipment and stuff, so all that has to kind of come into play. But we have plenty of money in our reserve account to do that.
Does it say on here what, oh, yeah. The rate is going, projected rate would be, go up 10 cents?
Yes. And we would be at 118% debt service coverage.
Okay.
And you can see the current cash as of 7/10 when I did this. So currently in our reserve funds, we have 879,426. Of that, 315,500 is invested. So our replacement, we have 1,901,000. We have invested 1.2 million. We've invested in that. Operating cash right now, we're at 586, and then of course Turkey's cash on the 10% reserve. What I have invested, you guys are at 473,000.
And this is just information for now, Michelle?
Well, I have to bring back a proposal next month, so there needs to be, I guess, a decision on what you want to do as far as salaries. The things that Jamie has out here in capital outlay, he's asking for 2 new slurry pumps, 38,000. Sim software, 550. Office equipment upgrades at 5,000. He is asking for a new track loader of 95,000. And the replacement of PLCs, 250,000. Then we also have carryover from the current budget that didn't get done. So the Claricone is being amended to take it off this budget and move it to next year's budget. So there's a little extra cost because you guys went with Suez. And then there's a couple other things like the radio cabinets need to be.
Which will be pushed over.
Yeah, they were already budgeted for this
Yeah.
year, they're just being moved over to the next
Right,
fiscal year.
just like CO2 system components and stuff like that.
So I would say your biggest thing is salaries and maybe some of this new equipment like the track loader. I'm assuming that the PLCs definitely probably need to get replaced. And the slurry pumps.
I would say the PLCs have got to be a priority from a capital standpoint.
Right.
That if we were going to shelve something, I would probably put the PLCs at the top of the gotta-do list.
Yes.
Some of the other stuff, I think if we're looking to be conservative on cost, the track loader might need to sit for a year,
Or wait till closer to the end of the year?
possibly.
The end of the next fiscal year,
Yeah,
which would be the next budget
yeah.
year.
I mean, you could get it in, what are we, October 1 to, or the,
Yeah, October 1, September
yeah,
30.
you could get it in September and pay for it in October next year.
Well, if you get it in September, you accrue it back to September.
Oh, do you?
Mhm.
See how you bookkeepers are, you just keep messing with us.
You pay for it in October, but it's a September expense.
Well, I mean, can you get by without it, Jamie?
I can, but I'm gonna continue to keep sinking thousands of dollars into that
What
existing
did you
machine.
spend on it this year in maintenance? You know, offhand?
I
I
probably.
mean, maybe two,
I-
3,000.
No, we did more than that, because all the other maintenance and everything else, I mean, we're probably doing about a good $3,000-4,000 worth of damage to it per year. It's falling apart, the machine was just never meant for our applications.
Okay, so light equipment maintenance, he budgeted 3,500, I'm amending it to 5,500, so there's an overage of 2,000. So I'm assuming all of that 5,000, 550 probably is
Most of it's
mostly
that
repairs to the
skid steer.
Bobcat.
And the other thing is, that's kind of like, for example, do you remember whenever we were looking at bids, as far as like clearing around the fence line, stuff like that, and that's gonna be like $10,000? This machine can do that. And if you go to do the raw flow line, that way out costs the cost of the machine to have someone else do it. You'd spend more paying a company and having nothing for them to clear.
Mark, what's your thoughts on it, since you do a lot of
I mean,
projects with this kind of machine?
I'm just curious that, we're gonna do the raw flow line, what, once a year? Maybe twice a year?
That, plus we mow everything around there.
Yeah. I mean, you can mow most of it with what you got now. You can't do
Unless
some
it's
of
wet.
you can't do some of the steeper stuff, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost, do we really need that machine sitting there every day that we're gonna use, say, 3 weeks every year, 4 weeks a year? Would it be more apt just to rent one for a month?
Have a new way drop on right now.
Our existing machine, we actually use constantly.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's more, you got the bed on it, you can drive around, spray everything.
Right, well,
You're gonna keep that machine, so.
actually, I wasn't going to, because I'm tired of working on it.
Well, but if you're not using it to cut everything and stuff,
Right.
you're not gonna be working on it as much if you're using it
Right.
just kind of for what it's intended, to move stuff around at the plant. And
Mhm.
my thing is, that, I mean, I hate spending $95,000 on something that's gonna be used maybe 2 months a year, when we can just call up Urban, have them drop one off and pay the rental fee, and if it breaks, it's on them, and,
That's true.
we've got the attachment that goes on it, so, I mean, I just think it's gonna be sitting there a whole lot more often than it's gonna be used. And my thing is, I mean, if we're gonna just cut grass and stuff, just rent one.
Okay, if we do that and we pull that 95,000 off, what kind of money are we adding for a rental? Mark, do you have any idea?
Okay, because that's gonna add, then it will add to your operating expenses.
Right, you're looking at probably a month rental on a machine, or maybe,
5,000?
I don't even think it'd be that much.
Wouldn't even be that,
You're looking at probably a couple thousand.
2,500.
Who's that? Is that Josh?
Yeah.
2,500, you said, Josh?
Yeah.
That'd work.
Okay, let's try that, see if we can.
Okay, so how many months are you estimating that you're gonna need it? Just 1 month?
If I just stay at it every day, yeah, I mean, month would be fine.
1 month, so add 2,500 to
Yeah.
rental
Equipment
fee.
rental.
And you probably want to keep that maintenance number up there,
Yeah,
because in the meantime, whatever he does with
so
that
keep it at
skid steer.
5,500.
I mean, and worst case scenario, we end up buying the machine next year if the rental.
That's fine.
doesn't work out. We just rent it this year, save this money, and, if we have to buy one, we buy one next year. But I think,
That's fine.
if we rent a machine, twice a year to do the raw flow line and around the fence, I mean, we ain't got manicured like a park, so we just need to keep it accessible, so that's my opinion.
Okay, so you got that part, Michelle?
Okay, so we're taking the tracker off, adding 5,000 to equipment rental?
Yep.
So what about the office equipment updates of 5,000? This is gonna replace, the operator's computer, plant manager's computer, as well as upgrades, aging wireless router, And a new
The
printer.
printers.
I think,
Are any of those things,
I think everything else looks good to me.
yeah, are any of those things capable of being remotely used? So in other words, is this computer a laptop or what is
It's just
this?
gonna be a laptop.
It's just for his.
Mine will be a laptop.
Can we
The
get-
operator's
Can
computer
we get money from the county for that?
is a standalone.
I mean, can we ask?
We can ask.
I mean, are they considered I mean, the water authority is a
they're certainly
taxable
essential.
entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have you done anything else COVID related, Jamie? That
From
you
an
spent
expense
for,
standpoint?
you
From an
spent
ex-
for, extra
I mean,
cleaning?
I've bought masks, stuff like that, better
I
fish.
do have to say one thing, because you did tell me that you completely made the
Oh,
bathroom.
yeah, I changed everything over in the bathroom to non-touch.
Well, I think you can turn that in.
I think, yeah, let's get together on that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm working on our submittal for reimbursement on COVID expense
Mhm.
with the CARES Act funding that the county has. So anything you've spent, and I would certainly think that a computer upgrade, I mean, that laptop sitting over there was a COVID expense that allows me to work remotely, it would allow you to work remotely. I think we should include that in there.
Okay.
It's a good
Have you
point.
sent in yes, I'm gonna send you something, notification to
Yeah.
them yet? You
Yeah.
did? That's just that first page, isn't it?
Yeah, just a single
The
page.
notarized one.
And then they ask, are you gonna bring it to us or email it to us?
So now,
No,
so the 5,000, is that you've already expended the 5,000? For the laptop that you're getting reimbursed back?
That's not $1,000 laptop. Or
Oh,
that's- Yeah,
But I'm just saying, should I still budget 5,000? for
yes,
next year?
yeah, we'll have, the only way that works with the CARES Act funding is on a reimbursement.
yeah,
So
we
we
have to
still have
spend
to
it.
So we would buy it, then they would reimburse us back?
Correct.
Okay.
Jamie, I have one question.
What you got?
And, I mean, I don't care either way, but like, why 3.3%?
Yeah, I was gonna ask where'd that number come from?
He went 1% above the 2.3.
Oh, okay. Is that, what's your thought process?
That's basically it. I mean, it's one of those just trying to average out a number. In other words, it's one of those, it's not 4%, it's not 5%. 3.3% is just kind of an oddball number. In other words, not too high, not too low.
The number we're working on, that we're using in our budget models right now is 2.5. It's closer to what the CPI is. You look at some of the labor statistics for the Midwest and the Upper Plains region, and that's about where everything's coming in at, is at 2.5. And there's documentation to back that up. I appreciate the idea of the 3.3 because it's obviously you're looking out for your guys, but
I get it.
but we need to be able to back the number up. Having the CPI numbers, having the labor statistics, cost of goods, that sort of thing, be able to back up that number. Like I said, the models we're using right now are 2.5.
So I guess the question is, do we use 2.5, 3.3, or anywhere in between?
I would prefer 2.5. Because that's
Terry?
the working number.
3 for me. 3? Let's see what Mark has to say. Josh, what do you think?
3%.
Okay. Wait till Mark gets back. Hopefully he's okay. Okay, Mark, we are debating the salary increase and we have two numbers, 2.5 or 3%.
I'll go with whatever the majority of the board wants to go.
Okay, well,
Doesn't matter to me either way.
Gary and Terry both said 3. Greg said 2.5. Oh, no, Gary, did you say 3? Josh said 3. Greg said 2.5. I'm kind of more in line with Greg, but, so, you get to decide.
I'm the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I'll throw a wrench in it. Let's meet in the middle, 275.
Okay, I'll agree with Mark. Anybody want to make a motion for 2.75?
I'll make a motion 275.
Second.
Second. Josh seconded?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. It passes. So we're 2.75.
Okay, what about the 401K? Are you guys okay with me dropping it back down to 401?
Yeah, we don't have that extra money.
Yeah.
Huh?
We don't have the extra money coming back, so I think we need to stick with the 2,500.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else we need to do on the budget, Michelle?
No, unless you guys have any questions. Not really.
Okay. That was a little bit
Now,
of a,
next month, I bring back a proposed budget, but if you guys want me to reprint everything, I might just do a summary.
sure. That's fine with me. I've got enough stuff to read. Okay, adopt a pandemic preparedness plan, and that's, we have the Festus plan here. Where the hell is it? So,
This was adopted by the city back in March. Jim, as you may recall, this is the same,
and I think we just kind of
yeah.
cut and
I
pasted.
think a lot of the cities went with the same one. This did go through legal review to make sure that it's compliant with the CARES Act and the emergency paid sick leave for 2020. So that's straight out of the lawyer's mouth there on the last page. Michelle had asked about what we needed to do as far as accommodations for the plant, and I felt that just using the plan that we use is probably the best way to go about it.
I agree. So,
I would make a motion to adopt a plan, the exact pandemic preparedness plan that the city of Festus uses.
I second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed? Okay. Resolution auditing service contract.
You guys had approved Tosh Bloom and Company. They came back with a new proposal for 3 additional years, a $500 increase. This is just basically signing the contract, doing it by resolution that you're agreeing to $7,500 for the years 20, 21, and 22.
Okay, first step, where's that? I need a,
I'll make the motion to introduce resolution 2020-4 for first reading by title only.
I'll second that.
all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, please read.
Resolution of the Jefferson County Water Authority of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the chairman to enter into and execute a contract with Hochschild and Bloom and Company LLP for years ending September 30th, 2020, 2021, and 2022, incorporating said contract as a part of the resolution prescribing the conditions thereto and establishing an effective date.
Is there any discussion? Okay, any?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
That'd be a roll call.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, go.
Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Barry Underwood, Greg Camp,
Yes.
Jim Caston,
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Johnson,
Yes.
Josh Whaley.
Okay, Mark, you're on a roll. We need a resolution for contract. No,
No,
we're
no.
skipping that.
Yeah,
Motion
Okay.
table.
Oh, yeah, that one is,
Table that.
needs to be removed, yeah.
Removed.
Okay. Okay, resolution to amend the budget. Mark?
Well, do you want me to discuss any of what the amendments are?
Say that again.
Would you like me to discuss what the amendments are?
Sure. You want to do that first? You can.
So I had reduced the salaries because Jamie hasn't hired his seventh person yet, so I took off 10 months. Engineering fees, Prairie Engineering contract was 16,000, it's 80% complete. And I guess, are they gonna bill us for the remaining 20%?
It's almost like they just fell off the face of the earth. So, I mean, to me, it looks like they're done, because I'll give them a call.
Did you get the completed engineering?
As far as what I see, it's complete. But they may have felt bad because they fell behind and had to come back, and they had equipment problems and stuff like that. So that's a possibility, but I will contact them.
Okay, so I reduced that by 4,000. Health insurance is reduced because of the seventh employee. 401K is because of the Nathan Kane forfeiture offset. Maintenance contracts does include the extra 136,000. I think I got the wrong one here. Shoot. Okay, it includes the extra cleaning that Suez is gonna do with next week.
Yes.
Light equipment maintenance because of the Bobcat, chemicals, we're over on chemicals for some reason. I know that you've been purchasing something
Is that for
extra.
the alum and things we had to do last spring?
We did some alum, we've had to feed some of that. We also did ahead of schedule our, Slaker cleaning. We did that while we were, down for that period of time because the load cells and have to recalibrate everything, so it had to be cleaned. So they asked for that. Isn't exactly the cheapest thing in the world. But as far as that, it's just one of those that we also cleaned the filter wall, so we bought a decent amount of muriatic acid for that, so it all went under, and some clean out that's used on that as well, clean walls, stuff like that, so that's why we're a little up.
I'm hoping the 126,000 is enough, because I've just got another bill for 8,000 for that ammonia sulfate. The insurance claims and bonds is being amended to include the insurance claim. Now, I didn't show it on the revenue side, but I thought I'd at least show it on the expense side. And then you can see the capital outlay that we removed. So the stair step collector well, that will be included with the project that you guys, I guess when you do the design and stuff. The clerical cleaning, of course, will be rebudgeted. So the CO2 stuff all has to be rebudgeted. And then the emergency repair that we had to number 1 and number 2 was 16,000. So that's it.
Okay, now, Mark.
I introduce resolution 2020-6 for first reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Please read.
Resolution of the Jefferson County Water Authority of Festus, Missouri, amending the 2019-2020 fiscal year budget and establishing an effective date.
Okay, any discussion, any more discussion? Okay. Mark?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Gary Underwood,
Yes.
Greg Camp,
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Johnson,
Yes.
Josh Whaley.
Okay, reports. Treasurer's reports, information only. We have Michelle here. Anybody have any questions for Michelle? Okay. Anybody have any questions for Jamie about his report? Okay. Greg, you have anything?
I have nothing, sir, other than I want an office just like Josh's.
Josh, you have anything to add?
No, I'm ready to get back to work though.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Gary? Terry?
Nope.
Marcus?
No, sir.
And I do not. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a second. And we need to roll call that. Motion to adjourn at 10:55.
Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Gary Underwood,
Yes.
Greg Camp,
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Johnson,
Yes.
Josh Whaley.
Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, and Greg, I talked to Glenn at Weber, and he's ready to meet with us, and and our engineer whenever we're ready to bring them in.
Very good.